So let's try and understand pixels and why they're important to us when we're creating images. As I said before, we always need to start a new project with a new document. We shouldn't just be opening up existing images without knowing what resolution they're at. The reason why resolution is so important, it determines how much detail is going to appear in an image. Pixels per inch is literally how many pixels are in an inch square. If we set our pixels at 72 dots per inch or pixels per inch, which is what usually you would get if you take an image straight from a website, because screen resolution is at 72 pixels per inch or dots per inch. When you want to expand that to a print, you're going to find that you've got pixelation and kind of jagged edges. Let me show you what I mean. Take this picture of a lion. It looks okay at this size, and it's something we could probably work on and neaten up and try out different colours and things. But when we zoom into that image, you can see that it's really pixelated. It's gone really jagged. And that's because we've taken the pixels and spread them out. Now, let me show you what I mean. Let's say that I've got this little drawing on a balloon. And you can see that it's a very crude drawing of a smiley face. It looks okay. But if I blow up the balloon, you can see you can see there that the ink has been stretched out and the quality of the image is faded. It looks a little bit worn. It's not working how we want it to look. If we go back to it being small again, it's fine. It's okay at this size. And that's what happens with our images. So let's take this picture of a lion. It looks okay. We could probably work into it, change some of the colours, and we could be working at this size and I think everything's fine. But when we go to print, we realise that it's really tiny. And if we zoom in on the image, you see that it's really pixelated. So we've taken those pixels and we've enlarged them, and it's created space between each pixel. Let me show you what I mean. So if we take these pixels here in the eye, if we enlarge it even more, what happens is we get space between the pixels, like this. So it makes it even more jagged. The bigger we go, the more space there is, the more we're trying to stretch those pixels out, and it gets worse and worse quality. Now, if I start at a 300 dpi, a 300 pixels per inch image, and I draw a smiley face at this size, just do that nice and simple. I'm an illustrator, you'd never know. But if I show you the balloon now, you can see that it's nice and dark, it's not spread out. And if I let the balloon down, we don't lose any quality. So we can go from big to small, but going from small to big is really difficult. We can't really easily add pixels back in. There's a few tricks we can try, and there's some AI software that you can pay for to add pixels back in, but it's never as good as the original that you were creating. It's always going to have a slight deficit from the fact that you've tried to add pixels in artificially. So make sure you start your project, every project, whether it's for screen, which will end up as 72 dots per inch, or whether it's for print, which is usually around 300 dots per inch. We always start at 300 because we can go smaller, but we can't go bigger. This is the image here at 72 dots per inch, and I've exaggerated the pixelation, but this is what the same image looks like at 300 dots per inch. There are still some tiny little jaggedy bits, but they're really not noticeable. And when it prints, you won't see that because the ink will spread and things like that. So 300 dots per inch is what we would use for things like magazines, illustrations, and prints, for photography exhibitions, that kind of stuff. We need it to be 300. So for your portfolio, they need to be 300. So 300 dots per inch, and we always start with a new document every single project. I guarantee that you will open up a picture, you'll work on it for a couple of hours, you'll go to print, and it'll be this big on a piece of paper. And you're going to say, oh, how do I make it bigger? Why is it blurry? I've put my portfolio together and it's blurry, and it's because the original image was only a low resolution, and you've been working at it, even though it looks fine on the screen. So be really careful, but you will come unstuck. So the next lesson is a fundamental part of Photoshop, and that is working with layers.